I know I got it in me, bro. If I can write bars, if I could just sit there and write bars, or even go on someone else's video and take a bar and remix it slightly, but then again, is in that video, I will try 100% to give credit. But in the same sense, why can't I just say it's mine? Well, why can't I? You know what I mean? So all that, right? It hadn't happened yet. The music hadn't happened yet. The whole style of me in 2018, it hadn't happened yet. When you talk about in these facilities and me showing respect and having a positive mind, and if I could go back and change it, I would still be the same, except I would be dark. And in a sense, when I say that, I say stick up for myself, not let them, come at me. Because the biggest problem in the situation is if a guy shows respect to man, if a guy's like, nah, you can go ahead and do what you want to do. I'm not that person. I'm the kind of person who I know when I go on here, I know men are capable. I know like they're around, and I'm looking around and I'm like, where the real where the real man at, bro? Like where the men at, bro? Like Socks is here, JK's over there somewhere, like Depsman, RIP every time, what was here. He had the mind of a man because he made music, that was ahead of its time. Everybody has pointed out in interviews, everybody has pointed out, in these rave sets, whatever you want to call them, DC Studios, right? The events after, right? That, when they say R.I.P. Depsman, they all praise Josh, being on a level. And when you look at youngers now, when even myself, even looking at all these men that make music, there was no one on that level. And I kind of listen to him, even when Depsman says he was the best younger in the Midlands. Nobody around could test him. Nobody around could say, nah, you're not, because he could say something like that and say it with conviction. If he wanted to go into a freestyle and say something and warm up for, like, let's say he warmed up for his K Dot Lord of the Mics clash, right, which was hard, or like a shower down, or even the one he did against Brutes, which was hard. Depsman was fully capable of speaking for himself. He never needed man to speak over him, speak for him. Depsman had the confidence, and he had the bars, and he had that energy, that aura, that when you look at other man, I think every artist is an individual. Socks has always been a representation for me as the pinnacle, as the leader, as a guy who's carried the genre, not just the genre of grime, but a genre of music. In a sense, when I used to listen to Socks, I used to be obsessed with saying notes and keys and instruments. Like, I've seen a lot of Socks Invasion posts. I used to follow him on Instagram. When I sort of saw him on a piano, like I sort of saw that side of Socks. Man literally came out and did his own thing on his own channel. It will always be XOS to me, bro. He will always be Grimy John, whatever nickname Socks went under, right? It was always one of them things where it was always under construction, but Socks was always working on himself, always on his brand, always on making content, and even working with man. For me personally, from 2012, the very moment I came across Socks through videos, ciphers, like through those videos, coming across him and hearing more of Socks, then I kind of understood, because he worked with Invasion, he worked with 4Force, he worked with a lot of these guys. And for me personally, I will always say that's when he became a veteran. Socks never wanted to really, he never thought of himself as a veteran, but I can say that because I'm somebody who has seen him as a member of the audience. I could meet him and tell him that, I could tell him this personally. But Socks Invasion is a veteran because he's made music individually and it's come off hard, but he's also put up content, surrounded himself with good men, the Invasion man, the FRB man, 4Force, right? He's surrounded by a lot of good people, you know, from Birmingham, right? He's a guy who's so chill, you know, a guy who has helped the youngers, and he cares about the genre, he cares about the scene, he cares about the industry and that. And most of the time, it's most of the people that make music nowadays, they only half-ass it because they do it. So you know, they and we get back to this, right? We'll get back to this, but like most of the people will complain about, oh, I used to do that and I could never do that anymore. For me personally, it's like if I went to a disco, or I went to a rave or a club or a pub or something along those lines, and now I'm around, man, that would never change. I'll sit there and say, well, you know, I'm getting older. I just make the most of its moments. These are my people. These are my friends. This is where it's at for me, bro. I don't care if, you know, you man want to stop. You know, I'll just get new people and I'm still gonna hit it, bro. Because for me personally, it's not about, oh, what other people think. It's about what I think. At the end of the day, I'm an individual. I don't judge other man. I don't look at other man. At the end of the day, what I don't see is, you know, it's other people putting it out there. And wholeheartedly, when I kind of look at most of these man, a lot of these men are boring. They force it. I try and make. I feel I'm a consistent person as well. Got touching on that, right? I'm a consistent person because I try wholeheartedly to put content out that is entertaining and fresh, and I try not to. I try not to act up, and I want to bring in old bars. I want to bring in some nostalgia for the man, but at the same time, you know, not that I'm bored of the old stuff. I feel like my brain is just like, my brain is wired differently. It's automatically thinking up new bars. I freestyle from the dome. I actually don't. What I gotta start doing is I gotta start spitting, and then I gotta play these tracks back, and I gotta write this down, and then I can sort of like, I could sort of spit the bar in the freestyle. So hit record, spit the bar, finish it, listen to it, and then write it into the memos, write it into the notepad, whatever, right? Start writing it down, and then when it comes to, you know, doing another freestyle over another beat, I've got a hard 16, I've got a hard 24, hard 32, you know, whatever bar it is, I'm gonna fuck it up. And the best thing about me is I don't even think I do 16s, 24s, 32s. I do rap about it, but for me personally, I just want to spit bars. I just want to do it for the culture. I just want, I don't want to be one of those has-beens on some of these radio stations, on some of these podcasts, and say, you know what it is I don't think anybody nowadays is bothered by this genre, by this type of music, by this type of style. It's one of the things where I'm just here, and I'm concentrating on my character. I'm concentrating on me and my health, and where I'm sort of going in life, and you know what I'm trying to do with this journey and this story. And I'm, you know, going back and thinking about a lot of these people I used to be around. Not any one of these people were on that, bro. A lot of these people I was around, you know, just seeing some of these videos. Like I was watching one of the Chaotic Media grime set videos where Depsman was in there, and JK D2 Casper was in there, right? It was hard, you know. I was watching it, right, and I saw Casper passing some stuff to Depsman. Like I think Depsman went for a smoke or something, and I'm like, that takes me back to New Park days, you know, back when man went to facilities. You know, man would just sit with man like Josh McCarthy. Man would sit with man like Mark Burrows, Lloyd. You know, like any man, bro. Any man that was smoking back then, like, man would just stand in the bushes, or like just sit outside a juniper. Man would just, or even one time on a park bench. That to me, bro, like these are like moments in life where, for me personally, a lot of people be like, oh, I would never do that. This will actually shock you. I would not change that, bro. I would not change that. I know Josh McCarthy was not my kind of person. He was never my friend, and it will shock you. Like, you know, if I could go back in time and change that, I would not change that. I wholeheartedly would not change that. Not that, you know, for a lot of other people, I'm sure he would go back in time and wish he never met me. But this is the thing. We're blokes, we're guys.